So there you are. You have a great idea, or at least the beginnings of one, and then poof, you're left staring into space. What the hell happened? One moment you're hit with inspiration, and the next, the hamster has clearly fallen off its wheel. So sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not, but I talk about writing on this channel, usually in the context of popular movies and shows. It's fun to talk about what makes characters great or what elements really sell a plot. But what about that creative curse that strikes everyone at one point or another? Writer's block. Most people would say it's a real issue, whereas some professional writers claim it doesn't really exist. Stephen King says amateurs sit and wait for inspiration. The rest of us get up and go to work. Okay, so if writer's block isn't really real, what's actually going on when you feel stuck? Writer's block is usually treated like a disease. You wake up one morning and bam, the words won't come. But the truth is, it's not a disease, it's a symptom. When you say you're blocked, what that really means is something else is getting in the way. Fear, fatigue, perfectionism, or maybe you don't actually know where your story is going next. It's like a fever. The fever isn't the illness, it's a sign your body is fighting something. Writer's block is the same. So, okay, if writer's block is just a symptom of something else, what is that something else? Well, most of the time, it comes down to 5 big causes. The first is perfectionism. You write a sentence, hate it, delete it, you write it again, delete it. And for some of us, this veto process happens in our head well before we even put pen to paper. Number 2, fear of judgment. Everything you write seems stupid, simplistic. You imagine people reading your work and criticizing it, so you'd rather not write at all. Burnout. You're tired, stressed, overworked, and your brain refuses to create. And number 4, discipline. Sometimes writer's block is just not writing often enough. So every time you sit down, it feels like the first time. It feels like work, like you're perpetually starting from scratch. And finally, number 5, unclear story direction. This is one of the most common causes. You don't know what happens next in your story, so you freeze up. Okay, well, great. We've identified the causes, but how do you fix them? When it comes to perfectionism, the cure is to write badly on purpose. Set a timer for 20 minutes and don't stop typing, even if it's garbage. Ernest Hemingway said, "The first draft of anything is bad. So let it be bad." Build a consistent habit, even 200 words a day. Maya Angelou rented a hotel room every morning just to write, whether she felt like it or not. But it doesn't have to be glamorous, it just has to be consistent. If public judgment is holding you back, write only for yourself. No one else has to see the draft. Take the audience out of the equation, and the pressure goes away. But for the biggest cause of writer's block, unclear story direction, the answer is to step back and brainstorm. The best thing you can do for yourself is to make an outline. If you know what happens, it's easy to tell a story. Have you ever clammed up when telling a friend something that happened to you that day? No, the story flows easily. It's the same with writing. The best thing a writer can do to avoid writer's block is to plan. Writers approach outlining differently, and the style of outlining will reflect the type of writer making it. You can't force rigidity on a flexible, casual writer, and a vague outline is not going to do anything for an author that is meticulous. J.K. Rowling is famous for her detailed charts where she tracks characters, plot lines, clues, and red herrings all in color-coded rows. R.L. Stine insists that he never starts a Goosebumps book until he has a complete chapter-by-chapter outline. Stephen King takes an opposite tack. He dislikes rigid outlines, preferring to start with a what-if situation and discover the story as he writes. Still, he admits to keeping notes and sketching key turning points so the narrative doesn't unravel. And my favorite piece of advice from John Grisham, don't write the first scene until you know the last scene. So how do you start an outline? Well, start with the basics, a clear beginning, middle, and end. Write down your main characters and what they want. Then decide on a handful of major events that shape their journey. From there, expand into chapter notes, or keep it broad if you prefer more freedom. The key isn't choosing one correct method, but finding the balance that keeps you focused and inspired. At the end of the day, writer's block is just a sign that something needs adjusting, whether that means lowering the bar, writing for yourself, taking a break, or planning ahead with an outline. The fix is almost always in your hands. The trick is not to wait around for inspiration, but to keep experimenting and finding the process that actually actually works for you. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.